Hi everyone, today we're going to do a really short tutorial on creating an ad. I know that some of you aren't familiar with creating ads and really how simple it is. So I just wanted to show you so you wouldn't be afraid anymore. So I'm going to go into Photoshop. I know many of you use Photoshop Elements, but I happen to use Photoshop, the full version. So if you're going to create an ad, if I tell you that I need an ad that is 700 by 850 pixels, 300 dpi. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to File, New, and you're going to choose right here. The name of the ad is, say, Where Women Create, and then we're going to choose the size. So we want 700, and this is really simple, by 850 pixels. And the resolution we want to be 300, not 72. The default is 72 for web. And I generally, if it's something that's going to be for print, will create it in CMYK color, so I don't have to convert it. So if you do it right in CMYK, that's the print version of the color. So CMYK, background, well, if you don't know what color background you're going to use, you can say transparent. I am going to just say, give my background of the ad a white color fill. So then I'm just going to say OK, and there it is. There's my ad. So now it's already the dimensions that you need, it's already the DPI that you need, and now it's just a matter of creating the ad. So in mine, you know, in my version of Photoshop, I can just choose text and say, OK, Cottage Collections. Oh, well, we see that's in white, so I want to change that. Select it, go back to text, and choose, I want some kind of a pink color. Oh, I don't know what font I have, but I want to add a little bit more pink into it. That's a little bit too much pink. You can play around a little bit. And that looks like a good color for me. So I'm going to choose that color, but I sure don't like that font. So now I'm going to go try to find a font that I do like. And the nice thing about Photoshop is you get a drop down with all the fonts, or you can just kind of scroll through it. So I might use Porcelain. There's one that I really like a lot, and it is called P22 Corinthia. So easy, you know, create the name of my business or my ad. So I'm going to say Cottage Collections, but you want to be in the text mode. And that actually gave me a separate text box, but I can move that down so they're both on the same. So is this big enough for my ad? I don't know. You can determine that as you start designing your ad. So here's my logo. I'm just going to select it and drag it on over, and then I can decide what I'm going to do with it. Do I want it in here? Do I want to move it over here? Do I want to move the layer? Do I want the text above it? You can just kind of start pulling things into your ad to see what you're going to have in here. I might want this photo in here. Yep, I kind of like that. Maybe I'm going to want another one. Maybe I want the background to be a different color. So I want to choose my background layer over here. You want to have your layers panel open, and then choose my color. So maybe I want a really pale pink color. Choose that and fill the background. Do I like it? Not sure, but you can play around really easily. So I really want her to be facing the other way. I can rotate her, or I can just drag one of the little handles on the image in the other direction. So basically, I have the content of my ad, which won't necessarily be this. The content of my ad. You know, you can enlarge it a little bit without losing too much clarity, but generally you lose clarity when you try to enlarge something. So I try to only use images to reduce. not so much enlarge. I would have brought in a larger one for that because I definitely want clarity. Just by clicking on it, I can move it around and see where I want it positioned, and then decide what I want to do with her. Do I want her in the ad? I actually want her layer to go on the top because I'm not sure whether I want to overlap the photo a little bit with her. And you see my guidelines? You see how it's showing the back of her hat lines up with the edge of the photo? It's really a nice little trick in Photoshop. It helps keep us on track. That shows us the center. So right here, I'm going to leave her right here for now. And then I'm going to go back to this. I'm not really crazy about this, but I think that I want to enlarge that text. I'm going to go back to text, and I'm going to go, say, choose a much larger. I think I'm going to like that better. So let's try that one. I think I chose 48 points in the last one. Too big. Let's see. Let's try 36. It looks like it's pretty close to the same size, but it still might be too big to fit on here. Yeah, unless I move it down. And I might, because that's kind of visually appealing to have it like that. And what else do I want to add in here? Do I want to add another couple of snaps, small photos? Just using the corners, you can drag them and resize them. And say I wanted to add 2 of them. Now you'll notice that it's overlapping her hat. So I'm going to bring her to the forefront again. I've lined these 2 images up. They look like they could use a little bit of space in between. Use the guidelines to get to your edge. Then I'm going to go back to her, go to layers, and I am going to arrange layers, and I'm going to bring that layer to the front. So that just kind of overlaps her. So maybe she overlaps too much and I want to make her a little bit smaller. So I can drag the handles, and then when you click on it, you'll notice the pixelation changes. And there she is at the edge. So basically, okay, and this is not necessarily how I would be designing my ad, but here is an ad. And it's as simple as that. You know, it's what you start out with. You start out at choosing the size and choosing the DPI. So you're sure that it's going to be the right size that you need to do. Then you can just cut and paste, drag and drop images into it just like I did. If you have images open, you can play back and forth. You drag this over, you don't like it, and you can delete it. Just go down to your layers palette and delete that layer. So you have a lot of flexibility in this program to get what you need to get done, and you end up with the ad the size that you need. It's really very simple. And I know a lot of the other programs work the same way too. So your very first step is File, New, name your ad, choose your width, your height, and your resolution. CMYK if it's going to print, and OK. And you have your new palette, your new art platform to be able to create your ad. So if you have any questions, please list them on the forum. I'm going to try to post this little video on the forum to help some of you that are having to create ads very shortly.